Hello lovely individuals and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a few weeks now since I posted my first video, and I had been trying to think about what I really wanted my second video to be, and I wanted it to be health related because that's one thing that I really want this channel, if I continue to post videos on here, what I want it to be about is like health, because I'm going on this journey to try and better my relationship with food, my relationship with exercise, and just overall like my general like health and well-being, and trying to better myself. And so I was trying to think of a video that went along the lines of that, and that I felt like, what's something that I've watched a lot of, at this beginning stage of trying to better myself. So when thinking about that, the first thing I thought of is I watch a lot of videos where people talk about like the steps that they took in the very beginning of their journey, because that's the stage that I'm at. And so I thought it'd be interesting to make a video about these first steps that I've been taking while I'm still here at the beginning, so that I can talk a little bit to, the changes that I've seen, the things that I felt are really working, the things that I felt like maybe didn't work out as great, but just shed a little light on just my experience with it, because I know everybody out there, I'm sure, has a completely different experience when they've pursued health and fitness and things like that. But I just thought it'd be interesting to kind of share my perspective. I mean, like, it could be absolutely useless to anybody, but on the off chance that somebody does find it useful, I want this to be out there. So I'm 22 years old, so for the last 22 years, pretty much, I have struggled with my weight, and just overall being addicted to food, which I know sounds weird, but I definitely think that it's something that a lot of people don't talk about. And so it wasn't really until somebody, showed me like the signs and things like that, where I was really like, I am addicted to food, because it would be like, I would sneak food any chance I got. I would eat a bunch of things and then like lie about having eaten them. And it was just, a never-ending cycle of eating too much food and eating terrible amounts of food and terrible amounts of like bad food. So that's been something that I've been kind of fighting against, but it's going well. And so this is the first time that I've really been committed to, like, I'm seeing a personal trainer twice a week, and then getting my eating on track has been another big thing, like really trying to dedicate a good portion of my time to just like meal prepping, making sure that I'm actually buying like good whole foods and things that actually, like, when I put them in my body, they make me feel good. And so a little bit of that's what I want to share as well. So where I kind of want to start is saying that by no means am I saying that this is what everybody should do. As I said before, everyone has a different journey. Everybody has a different way of going about things. Everybody has different things that work for them. Obviously, I am on my process and my journey, and this is what's making me feel better. So take any tips that you like, but don't take anything as me telling you that this is absolutely 100% what you need to do. So I'm going to start by saying one thing that I find really important, and I know some people really don't like this, but some people really love it, is tracking your food and your exercise and your water intake and things like that. So I personally use LifeSum. I found them to be the most user-friendly tracking app that I've used. They kind of had this like smiley face rating, where, you know, if it really likes it, it's got like one smiley face, and if it really doesn't like it, it's got like a face that kind of has like a line for the mouth. So it kind of helps you to understand like, oh, like these foods are really good and these foods are like really processed and things like that. And it kind of gives you a breakdown underneath that smiley face of like, these are the pros and these are the cons of that food, which I think is really cool. So I really like using that a lot of the time. And I try to keep up with that pretty regularly because, like I said, I am meeting with a personal trainer, and he does like to look at that and kind of see, you know, what I've been eating, you know, to kind of track my progress that way. Because, you know, I could go in there and give it my all during our sessions, but if I'm not doing anything outside of our sessions, then, you know, what's that really going to accomplish? So I've used that, and it's worked out really well. It's super user-friendly, and I just really like it. The second thing is, for me personally, I think that adding in weight training has made a huge difference for me. Like, I'm only about, I don't know, I would say a little over a month in, and of that, I would say I'm only a couple weeks of that into being really, truly dedicated to the process. And so I'm now really seeing the changes, and I would definitely say that compared to other times, because I have had other times in my life, like a few summers ago, I lost about 30 pounds. And, you know, I was only doing cardio at that point in time. And so I was losing a bunch of weight, but I was also losing a bunch of muscle. And when I think back to that time, I've never felt like more physically weak than at that time, because like, yeah, I was losing this weight and I liked, you know, from that aspect how I was looking in the mirror. But when it actually came down to it, I wasn't super happy with the way that I felt internally. And also, like, you know, I wasn't getting toned except for maybe my legs. And so that's why this time, even though I have a more significant amount of weight to lose compared to that time, I feel the changes a little bit more rapidly because of incorporating both cardio and weight training. And so I've really enjoyed that. And so if that's something that you're interested in, or you like going to the gym, I would highly recommend doing that. I know not everybody can get a personal trainer. I know for me, I really like having a personal trainer just because it's nice to have someone to kind of walk you through the exercises. But as you found this video, there's tons of YouTube videos on exercising. So you can also take that route, which I would highly, highly recommend. I like, you know, Blogilates videos, and I really like Miss Remy Ashton when she will post like exercise videos and things like that. And just like, you know, an abundance of other people who just post like full out like training videos, which, you know, is a really nice resource to have. The next thing that I find super important, at least to me, is getting healthy snacks that I really enjoy. Like having stuff that makes it so you're not thinking about having chips or a candy bar or whatever, like French fries or something. Finding things you genuinely want to have so you're not tempted by those other things. You're like, oh no, I've got this, so like I don't need that. So that's been something that I wouldn't say it's been a struggle, but I feel like it's hard to find something that like you like right off the bat. Like you have to try a couple different things to be like, oh, okay, I like this, but I don't like that. So here are a few things that I found that I really like, and I genuinely like look forward to the point in my day when I have these. So I'm gonna try and kind of go in order of like when I would have them in my day, because some of these I have on like a daily basis. So the first being Muscle Milk. So this is the Muscle Milk that I get, and it is the non-dairy protein shake. It's got 25 grams of protein in it, and it's about 160 calories. So I absolutely love that protein shake. Like, I've always been a fan of the protein that comes already pre-made, but I really like that that's non-dairy because I am slightly lactose intolerant. Like some cheeses and different things like that give me a stomach ache, and so that's really nice in the morning. I drink that. I usually grab it when I'm on my way to work, and I'll just kind of have it there in the morning because I kind of try to do the intuitive eating thing now, where I'm really listening to my body, like, tell me that it's hungry. So usually between like 8 or 9, I'll usually have that. And sometimes I'll take a banana to have as well, just in case like I am feeling a little bit hungrier in that day, and that kind of helps me to like shut down the idea of like, oh, I'll have a snack before lunch. It's like, no, you had a banana and a protein shake, you're good. And so then the next thing that I will usually have is with my lunch, I usually try and take either like ground turkey, ground chicken, or a turkey burger. And what I will do is I just package that up, and I'll usually put some sort of like pepper or vegetable with it. And then I also love fruit. Fruit is a big thing for me. Like, I love some fruit. I have struggled for a really long time to work fruit like successfully into my day-to-day because for whatever reason, it's like I would buy fruit and like have it that first day, like during the weekend, where I'm just like, yeah, I love this fruit. And then like that whole week, like I wouldn't touch it again. And so now I'm just like, you have to like work some fruit and like have some berries, something like that, because I feel so much better when I have them in my day. And so I actually have the lunch box here. So this is my lunch that I take. It's got the fork and knife right there, which is super convenient. And then it's got 3 different sections. So the one that this is actually covering is usually where I put the protein. And then this over here is where I would put the vegetables. And then this one down here is where I would put the fruit. So I usually take raspberries, strawberries, and sometimes blackberries, depending on if they had good ones at the store or not. But I really love that container because I have 2 of them, and so I will meal prep them for like 2 days in advance for lunch, and then that's already taken care of, which is super nice. And then moving into the afternoon, I will have one of 2 things. I will have one of these 1 bars, and I love, this is the peanut butter pie flavored. It is my favorite. Like, I genuinely look forward to the point in the afternoon where I get to have one of these because they're really good. They're definitely filling, so on days where I felt like I had more protein in my lunch, I will probably shy away from that just because I'm also probably going to have some sort of protein with my dinner, and so I don't like to overdo it with that because sometimes I'll feel really full from that and not get as much of the like vegetables and different things that I need throughout the day. So it just depends on the day, because if I have had a lot of protein that day, sometimes I'll go for a Larabar, which are also delicious. If you've never had a Larabar, I highly encourage you to go try one. Personally, this is my favorite one, which is the peanut butter cookie flavor. I really like the fact that it has only 3 ingredients, which is just dates, peanuts, and sea salt. Right there. I really like that it's super simple, not super processed, like 3 ingredients. That's great. And they taste good. Like, it tastes like an actual like peanut butter cookie, and it's like nice and filling, and so it just helps me to get through the majority of my day. Another snack that I'll usually take, and sometimes I'll put this in my lunch and sometimes I'll take it on the side if I'm like not having a super hungry day, but I know I'm gonna have like some sort of like afternoon like munchy feeling. So I got these little snack size packs of carrots, and they're perfect for just having a little like afternoon snack. They're carrots, so they're not super filling, but it gives you that feeling of like you've been munching on something. And I like to get it in the prepackaged ones, so I'm not like taking a whole bag of carrots and just eating however many. So that's really nice for me. The other thing that I haven't touched on is water. So whenever I tried the whole like weight loss thing before, I never really took into account how important water was. And that was something that I was like, I've got to get it right this time. Like I've got to work on my water. I've got to make sure that I'm having plenty of water in my day. So I went out and I bought this Bubba cup. I really like it. It's got this nice straw right here. It's metal on the inside and it's got this like soft material on the outside, so it's really comfortable in your hand, and if you drop it, like, it's not going to break or anything. But it's really nice. I got it from Walmart. It was only $10, and I have one that I have here at home. I have another cup that's very similar to it at work, because I find, for me at least, that drinking out of a straw makes me more likely to drink more water rather than drinking out of like a bottle that has just like an open top. And so I find that super helpful. And since I liked this cup so much, I actually went online and got another one, and then I keep that one in my gym bag. So I make it so that when I go to the gym, I fill it up and I make sure that I finish that whole bottle before I go home from the gym, just to make sure that I was getting plenty of water while I was there and exercising, because I believe these are 24-ounce bottles. And so I'm like, okay, I kept myself like well hydrated if I went through that whole thing in the time that I was here. People may say that I'm overhydrating for, whatever period of time, but I find that I feel really good when I'm making sure that I have plenty of water, especially at the gym. So I think that's all the things that I have for right now. I guess I can give a little recap on just how I've been feeling. So I think it was back at the very end of July, and I saw a picture of myself, and I hadn't seen a picture of myself in like a while, and I couldn't believe how large I had gotten, because I see myself every day, so like the change was more gradual to me, but I just like couldn't believe it when I saw the picture. And so it was at that moment that I was just like, I've got to do something about this, like something's got to change. And so my first step was I went to a local gym and got a membership, and I set up a time to meet with one of their personal trainers, because I know for me, like, I need that repetition of like going and meeting with somebody and like having somebody to like hold me accountable. And so I set up a time with them, and now I meet with him 2 days a week, which is really nice. And then I was like, I gotta get my eating right. And so I was like, I'm gonna get some containers to meal prep, and I'm gonna throw away all these bad things in my apartment and make sure that I'm only buying like good foods. And so I've been on that for, like I said, about a month and a half was like the mark of when I actually went and started meeting with the personal trainer. Well, I guess it's closer to 2 months now. And then I would say I teeter-tottered with actually getting like dedicated for, I would say, the first month. And then for the last couple weeks, I've been really trying to like be dedicated and like get into it. And so I would say it's within the last like 2.5 weeks that I've really gotten the eating down with like the things that I showed you. And just trying to get that under control. And so in the beginning, I was 254 pounds, I believe. And right now, I think I'm between like 10 and 11 pounds down, which is a big deal for me, especially the fact that I'm also gaining muscle at the same time as losing weight, which is exciting for me because I've never done that before. So that's where I'm at now. I do plan to do a video with my personal trainer. That'll probably be the next video that comes out. I want to kind of interview him so we can give kind of like tips and tricks for managing one's health and going to the gym and just overall living a healthier lifestyle, because he is a very like healthy and very knowledgeable individual. And so that'll be the next video that comes out. But I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that this was at least a little bit helpful. Obviously, I'm not an expert. Obviously, like, I'm on this journey. I'm trying my best. I'm making these changes in my life. I encourage anybody who's out there who wants to make a change in their life, you know, do it, but do it for you. Do it because you want to do it, and do it because it genuinely makes you happy. You know, I hear people all the time, they'll judge other people on the street because of their size. I'm like, if that person is happy in their skin, let them be happy in their skin. I personally am making these changes because I'm not happy in my skin. I want to be a different version of myself, and I'm taking the steps to get there. But don't ever feel like anybody has the right to tell you, oh, you're this size, you should really be this size. That it's not any of that person's business, unless like you are doing something detrimental to your health and they're trying to help you. But if you are a perfectly healthy human being and happen to be a bigger size, live your life. Like, that, it just is what it is. Anyway, guys, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.